take us through your first two games here at Clemson and what it's been like.
Oh, it's been special. You dream of things like this, coming out of high school and not really sure I was going to make it to this point when I was little, but, I just been taking it in. First game in the Valley was great, playing against Charleston Southern, big home win, so it's just been special.
David Hogan with TigerNet.com. I thought that after Hank Green had his catch, maybe you had the best reaction on the sidelines that made it up on the video board. What's it like watching a teammate who has put in work have that kind of a moment?
Yeah, Ham Green, man, he just worked so hard, and he finally got his opportunity to go and show what he's been working on, every day. Fall camp, summer workouts, just going out there and working, one of the hardest working players on the team. And so, y'all just got a chance to see, how good we are at that position, with Hamp being out there at the end of the game and making a crazy play like that. So, yeah.
John, with the Boston Courier, we've probably been asked this before, but why does a kid from Alabama like you and TJ Parker, also from Alabama, end up at a place like Clemson when you could have been recruited by some of those, obviously that one in-state school?
Yeah, well, I was recruited by, other schools, including Alabama, that in-state school, but, it wasn't really the things that weren't good about Alabama that drew me to Clemson. It was just that there were so many great things about Clemson that, I just couldn't say no to. The people, the culture, the ability to be coached by Coach Eason, one of the greatest to ever do it, playing and coaching. So, just those things, amongst other things, are just crazy to just not go for,
TJ was talking about the recruiting process that as soon as, or you had already been talking with him, and then when he decommitted, you sent like the eye emojis.
yeah.
I guess why were you so kind of on top of the recruiting process with him? How much did you want to get him?
Yeah, me and TJ, we had a long-lasting relationship prior to Clemson, because we played against each other in high school. Alabama 7A football is very competitive, and we were one of the, two best players in our state. So just knowing his game, game recognized his game, and, just the person that he was, I just knew he was a fit for the program. So as soon as, even when he was committed to Penn State, that was still my guy. I was just kind of in his ear like, hey, man, like, we could really do this. We could really run it up here. So it just happened.
So I guess would you hang out with TJ off the field too, or is it just in game going against each other?
Yeah, no, TJ, that's like my best friend. Like we pull up here every day together and we leave here every day together, and that's just how we've been since we got here. So just that chemistry, I guess you could call it, kind of shows up on the field too. When we're playing together, we communicate really well, and so that's big for us.
Beth Poole from Fox Carolina in Greenville. You mentioned getting to play for Coach Eason. What is it about him and how he connects with you guys?
Yeah, Coach Eason, he's just an all-around great guy. He knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's done it at every level, coached it at every level. So, I mean, the credibility is there. And just the fact, that Coach Eason, he cares so much more about his players than just, how they're doing on the field and what they're doing. Production-wise, he wants to see you become a great man ultimately and just, take up everything that he got to take up when he was here at Clemson and just kind of soak all that in.
How does he show you that he cares about you more than just what you're producing out there on the football field?
Yeah, like every day, he gives us a food for thought, when we're in our meetings, and he just tries to make sure that we're okay mentally. And so some of our food for thought has just been things that just have nothing to do with football, just, at-home life, stuff that, that builds the man. And that's kind of what, this program prides itself on.
He talks about leading with his vulnerability. Is that a word that comes up in your guys' room? And what's even that idea of vulnerability and being able to show vulnerability? How has he shown that to you guys?
Yeah, he's, Coach Eason, everybody knows that Coach Eason's been on a journey, and the fact that he's been willing to share his journey with us to encourage us has made us closer as a room. And I feel like the fact that he's able, to have those talks with us and, to sit us down and just explain to us, like, look, guys, like, this is what I'm going through. I know y'all are going through stuff, but you got to do this. You got to fight. And so that's something that, we've learned as a room together, just coming together closely is just, fighting through. Like, you're always going to have, circumstances that you come against and stuff, obstacles, or that you, if you want to call it obstacles, but, just fighting through is just a big thing.
Is that at all what you expected when you were getting ready to come here, when you were a senior in high school?
Yeah, I really did. I tell everybody this all the time. What I got during recruiting, which I love, what I got during recruiting whenever I was at Clemson is something that I saw when I got here, and it was just consistent from everybody. Coach Sweeney, Coach Eason, Coach West, just everyone. So.
The guys over at Tiger Impact told me that when it came time to talk to you about NIL opportunities, that you were really insistent that they find you a Big Brother program to be a part of, and that they, tried to get you hooked up to Folsom Regal. Why is that so important to you?
Just the importance of just, giving back to the community. That's really, stuff that I did, even when I was back home, just want to just give back and make sure that other people have, the things that they need. And if they don't, then if I have something that I can give, then I give. And, I think that kind of rings true again to this culture and things that I've learned since I've been here because, we always talk about making sacrifices here. And that's one thing that, I'm willing to do.
Is that something you're able to do during the season to be a part of it? And kind of what do you do with Big Brother?
Yeah, well, they talk about, being a servant leader. It's something that Coach Sweeney talks about all the time. So really just whatever they want me to do for them, if it fits my schedule, I'm going to do it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm able to, and that's something that's big.
What's it like to talk to, a young boy that maybe doesn't have the best home life and he sees this big football player? What's it kind of like to be a role model for these kids?
It's not easy, but I know that I got here because of the hard work that I put in, So regardless of your circumstance, something that I just always keep harping on, just regardless of your circumstance, it's just that fight that you have in you that's, just going to keep you going. And one thing that I always preach to these guys is like, the stuff that I'm living right now was a dream for me. So if you dream and you make it happen, you put in the work, it's going to happen. So that's one thing that I preach to them.
What do you learn from them?
I learned a lot of things from them, just different things about their at-home life that maybe I didn't even experience, stuff like that. So.
Phil Crumbley, Sports Talk Media Network in Columbia. Coming from Alabaster and Thompson High School, we run across that a lot in covering recruiting. Schools put out a ton of players. What's it like at that high school? What makes that high school, that program, so special, and how big is that as part of the town life growing up there?
Yeah, so I don't mean to be repetitive, but a lot of the things that drew me here is because of where I came from. And so a lot of the things that Coach Sweeney instills in us, as far as, a faith-based program, accountability, stuff like that is stuff that we had in my high school. And so that's a big thing amongst other things that are the reason that I chose to come to this institution is just because of, the accountability, how the program is built, stuff like that. So that's on my high school.
In the state of Alabama, 7A program, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
How is it viewed, like in our state, we think of like Dutch Fork, you may have heard of Dutch Fork, or Somerville, or Gaffney, Spartanburg, up this way, Burns. What's the reputation of Thompson High football in Alabama?
Yeah, well, to answer your question, in simplest forms, I've been to 5 state championships and I won 4 of them. So that's that's about it.
No, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, on the ACC kickoff, he was saying that you were ready. He felt playing a game in March. That's just rare for a freshman. Usually it takes a little bit of time to get your feet under you. Did you feel ready at that point in time, or when did you realize that you could play immediately at this level?
I felt like I was prepared coming out of high school because of the high school that I came from. And just, like I said, a lot of the things that I see in this college institution are things that I had in high school. So I was fortunate enough, to have a great D-line coach coming out of high school, a great head coach coming out of high school that just really prepared me for this next level. And so when I got to the next level, it was just like, just pick up these pieces, transfer this over here, and just keep learning from Coach Sweeney and Coach Eason and Coach Goodwin and the different people who just have their hands on my position.
Is there a teammate that's kind of helped teach you some things or kind of make your transition easier?
Yeah, easily Tyler Davis, Rukaroro. They're like, my big brothers. And one thing that I can say about them is, they're very selfless. They're not too scared to, allow me to, come into my own and teach me some of the things that they know so they can see me be the best version of myself. And they've been big brothers to me, just being able to just like stay behind them and just kind of follow their lead and their leadership and just learn things from them because they've been here for so long and they've seen everything I'm about to come into. It's just special and it says a lot about their character.
Hey Peter, Chase Justice with the WIFF News 4 in Greenville. You mentioned being excited for your first game in Death Valley last week. What are your expectations for the first night game coming up this week in Death Valley?
It's gonna be special. I've actually been to a few night games in Death Valley where I've just been sitting up in my seat, just hoping and wishing and praying that I get a chance to be out there. So I mean, it's time now. So I got to put in the work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, so it can show up Saturday.
Hey Peter, Amanda Poole with Watch Fox out of Columbia. You play your first game for Clemson in what Dabo Sweeney called the weirdest game he's ever coached in. What did you learn about this team in that Duke loss from the Charleston Southern blowout?
Basically, that we can respond. Some of the mistakes that we made in the Duke game, we're not really going to run from them, but we capitalized on them, and we made them not mistakes anymore in the Charleston Southern game. So that's really just, what Coach Sweeney wanted to see from us, just not make the same mistakes in the next game. And you can see that in the coming weeks that we were going to prepare and make sure that we don't make the same little things happen. So.
Julia Westerman, WIS in Columbia. Dabo said this is one of the biggest offensive lines you guys are going to see all year. What challenges will that group present for you guys this week?
They're big. You know what I'm saying? They're big. And I like playing big offensive linemen personally because, I'm not the tallest guy. But, we're going to watch them on film and see what they have skill-wise. But being big is part of the game. So, that doesn't really scare us, but we're gonna take it. So.
Let's go back to being prepared early. How big were you in 8th grade?
I was probably 5'11", maybe not even 200 pounds maybe. Yeah.
Coach Friedman told me that they don't really play a lot of freshmen and sophomores. You were in 8th grade.
Yeah, yes, sir.
They bring you up to a varsity practice, and you drilled an old running back, like put him on his back, big violent collision, put the entire world on notice. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. It was. I don't think he told y'all this, but it was during a walkthrough. and we weren't supposed to be really hitting anybody. And this is one of my first practices coming up, and I didn't really know anything. You know what I'm saying? I was young, immature. I might have been 13 at the time, and so I hit him, and I actually ran through a pulling guard to hit the running back, and he was a little bit down the field, and he ripped me. But he saw something in me, I guess, that I didn't really see myself at the time, and I just kept building on it.
So with that great program, like we've already said, such a great program, what was it like to play that early for those guys when guys don't really play that early there?
Yeah, it was special, but I just remained humble through it all, and just even like I do in this program, there were older guys there that taught me a lot of things, on the other side of the ball as well. I got to play with Talia Tagovailoa my 8th grade year, and just the wisdom that he had just as a quarterback and just knowledgeable of the game just kind of helped me move along in my game too.
One thing I noticed watching your high school film and also one of the clips that Clemson football posted this weekend, you tend to throw people in the tackles. What is going on that makes you do that?
I told my dad this the other day. I bench more than I weigh. And so whenever I'm trying to tackle somebody and I hold them up, I'm going to make sure that I put that bench on them and not really just fall on them. And that's just my philosophy. So if I got you held up, I'm going to throw you. That's what I do.
475, but Will said he thinks it's more than that now. Or TJ, so are you over 500 yet?
I haven't. I think the last thing I did bench was 475. But when I got here, guys, shout out to D-Love and Coach Batson. When I got here, or when I was leaving high school, I couldn't even bench 405. Like, I was probably in the high 300s, maybe 385 range, and so the last time we maxed out, it was 475.
Scott Keefer with Green News. Rumor is that you have quite the singing voice. Where does that come from?
It came from my family. My whole family sings. My mom, she can hold a tune. My dad, brother, sister, and my little sister's starting to sing. She's just 12, so she's coming into it. And so that's just a way that we kind of bonded coming up, and so it was fun.
Was it going to church a little bit?
Yeah, it was church motivated. My dad is actually a pastor about 30 minutes south of Tuscaloosa, so we grew up, singing in the church. Not really anything that we were forced to do, but something, like I said, that just, helped our family bond and something that we came together with.
Were you in the choir?
Yeah, I was, yes, sir.
What kind of music do you sing now?
I sing just about anything. Like, my music taste, I tell this people all the time, my music taste is very versatile. R&B, church music, just anything, really. If I hear it and I can catch a tune, I can typically sing it, so.
Talk about staying humble. I mean, Dabo, the players were talking about you all spring, just in terms of how did you stay humble when there's all these people talking about how far ahead of the curve you are as a player?
Yeah, I could just kind of credit that to just self-aspiration. I know that there's always things that I can work on to get better, and I'm never going to be the best version of myself, but I'm always going to strive to be the best version of myself, which is going to cause me to, get somewhere close along the way and just keep getting better. So.
What do you think we can get better at? Like, what can you see the obvious holes in your game? Like, what are the things that you're focused on?
I'm always just, stressing myself to get better at the mental aspect of the game, just knowing the guys' jobs around me and just how my job fits into the defense, the grand scheme of things. So that's something that I've really been working on most recently. And just the little things, just perfecting the little things like footwork and stuff like that people don't really think about.
Are you and TJ roommates?
We are, yeah.
What do you feel like is TJ's biggest strength?
Gosh, TJ's biggest strength. This sounds like kind of crazy. His biggest strength is his consistency. Dude is pretty much good at everything, and he's consistent at doing it. And so I think consistency is his biggest strength, just being able to just do it over and over and over again. We harp on the fact that, we're doing pass rush in practice, and he does the same move and doesn't lose. And so just somebody who's so consistent at just what they do is, that's going to take him really far.
Talk to you about like his pass rush style. So with TJ, how would you describe like his pass rush style?
Win. That's what he does.
During recruiting, you were moved down a little bit by a recruiting service because you're do you take that as fuel, or kind of how do you overcome the fact that maybe you don't have to go as long?
My arm length has really never been a problem for me, and then I got to the next level and realized that it wasn't really a problem for me. So, that's an opinionated. I don't really know how that, transfers onto the field, but hey, I mean that's somebody else's opinion. I'll just keep doing what I do.
Any questions for Peter from Zoom?
Hey Peter, Trevor Gross from TigerNet.com. I'm sure you've heard the comparisons to Christian Wilkins and Dex Lawrence, a couple of legends when they're thinking the NFL now. What goes through your mind when you hear those comparisons, and how much interaction did you have with those guys when they're here over the summer?
Really just wow, being compared to some Clemson greats right there, and there's big shoes to fill, but I'm really just working every day, just going a day at a time and just trying to get better at the little things every day, and hopefully I can just get half as great as them. Really, I soaked up a lot from them this summer. Being here this summer with them, got to get in the film room a little bit and just just understand the game from their point of view and even at the next level. So it was big just having that time with them this summer and staying around.
Anyone else for Peter? I think you said in December that Deion Sanders had hit you up to try to book you. I know I'm sure other schools approach you. Just tell us about getting approached by other schools after you committed, because you didn't commit kind of early, and what made you obviously stick with Clemson to get where you are right now.
Yeah, to be honest, after I committed, that was a solid decision. I was a man of my word. I know there was a lot going on about, me possibly committing just to, for show or flipping, but I made the decision to come to Clemson, and that's just really what it was. So anybody who kind of hit me up after that, I didn't really give them a second thought. Not anything against their institution, but just like I said, because of all the great things that Clemson offered, and I just wasn't going to pass that up.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Peter.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Thank you all.